Election Day once again in North Carolina, and while the presidential primary is behind us, people all over our state are casting their ballots in congressional primaries. You might have seen their names on March's ballot, but your votes did not count because of adjustments to our congressional maps. A court forced state lawmakers to redraw those maps in February, in part changing which district some of you live in. Because of this, today's second primary date was scheduled. Polls are closing in the next half hour and a half, but local election boards report voter turnout is extremely low. WNCT's Zora Stevenson is at a precinct in Greenville with more on the lack of participation. Zora.
Voter turnout is exactly what some of our lawmakers were worried about, and now their projections are reality. I'm at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Greenville. Historically, this place is one of the busiest precincts in the city. You can see behind me, not so much. It's pretty scarce back there. And as of 4 o'clock today, only 4% of registered voters in Greenville actually exercise their right.
This is the way we have a voice, is to get out and vote.
Thousands of people opted not to use their voice for this year's congressional primary. It's not because they didn't want to. Some didn't know they could. Did you know there was an election today?
No, I did not.
Marley's not alone. I stood out here for about 20 minutes asking people if they knew there was an election today, and only 2 people said yes.
I'm not surprised that people don't know about it.
This is exactly what some representatives were worried about. Back in February, when lawmakers redrew the congressional maps, some said changing the date would affect voter turnout or lack thereof. At some of Greenville's busiest precincts, you saw more cars driving by than driving in.
This is your country. This is your privilege.
People have died for us to have the privilege to vote.
One person who exercised her right to vote has this to say to all the registered voters who decided to stay at home.
Shame on you. Our country is too great for the citizens not to have a voice.
For the people who just didn't know, they're not happy either.
If you don't have voter turnout, you don't necessarily elect someone that would be the voice of the majority.
Absentee voter numbers are low as well. Less than 2,000 people turn those forms in. Live in Greenville, Zora Stevenson, 9 on your side.
All right, thank you so much for that update, Zora. Now, if you are one of the people who just did not know about today's election, you still have time. The polls do not close until 7:30. You can go to the same place you voted in March. Then make sure you tune back in. We'll have the results for District 3 and the state Supreme Court justice race tonight at 10 and 11.